Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Instagram Live. Super excited about this one. We have been anticipating it for the last couple of days. We had to postpone it slightly for other more important things in the world, but now we've found the time to actually get ourselves back on the line with Phil MacHugh. We're going to be talking to him about his lockdown learnings, what he's been up to in the Highlands of Scotland, and just see what he's thinking around the whole industry. I mean, he's a presenter. He's worked in TV and radio, and does a lot of columns and writes for quite some newspapers and stuff. So we're basically going to, it's media, and it's interesting because the media is going to be an industry that could be affected quite badly by this, and or it could be something that could come out of the woodwork and be the best thing that's ever happened. So it's going to be really interesting hearing it from his side and talking about whether the industries are going to recover. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. So fingers crossed he'll join us ever so soon. Otherwise, hope everyone's well. Thanks for joining. Hello everyone. I've just waved back at you there. That has joined us this morning or this afternoon. It is 12 o'clock. Yes, I hope everyone having a good morning. I ran a half marathon this morning, just saying. No, I did it for charity. It was a friend of mine who is, his name is James Barham, and he has, unfortunately, 6 weeks after he gave birth to his very, very special little boy, Charlie, was diagnosed with acute leukemia. And shame he's been in a, it just has been in a bad state for the last a few weeks, and is not feeling great, and the NHS has been doing an amazing job helping him amidst everything that's been going on get better. And so I did my bit and ran a marathon or half marathon this morning for him. So if anybody would like to donate, then if you go back through my IGTV, it's about sort of 7 or 8 videos back. It's a video. You'll see him. He's sitting in his hospital bed, and he is. If you click on that video, the link for the Just Giving page is on there. Unfortunately, because I haven't got 10,000 followers yet, I can't do the swipe up thing for a specific link to a thing. So if you want to donate, please just copy and paste or screenshot or whatever, write it down. But if you could give anything, that would be really, really amazing. I did the time this morning. I'll prove it to you. 1 second. This was my watch that I ran on, and here we go. I'm going to go run, and you can see 4th of June. 4th of June has the thing there, and I did 21 kilometers in 1 hour 33 minutes. So donate. I've pushed myself super hard. My legs are very tired now. But if anyone can give anyway. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Where is Phil? I saw him join, but Phil, you've got to actually request to be a part of this if you want to show your face and get talking to all these lovely people that are waiting for you to join. So please request at... here we go. It's his first live. We'll let him off. We'll join him now. So anyway, hope everyone enjoys it. Looking forward to this one. There he is. Were you just sitting there watching me for 10 minutes thinking, he's done?
I was like, I'll let him talk, do his thing, and then I'll be like, okay, he's finished that part, go.
Yeah, exactly. It's good, man. Welcome. How are you? Thank you so much for your time. I know we've rescheduled this a few times to make it work, so I'm glad that it's finally here.
Yeah, no, I'm good actually. Yeah, greetings from Edinburgh actually. So
right, fantastic. Can I ask, is it nice there today, or is it a bit miserable?
No, it's changed. I mean, it has been really good up until yesterday, but it's now changed. So I can imagine lots of Scots' mentality is now going to change, because it's been so beautiful and we've all been able to go outside and do our things, but now going to be a different story, because I think the next kind of like 7 to 10 days are not looking that great up here. So
I think it's the same in the whole of the UK. We're getting a bit of a grey sky here this morning, but anyway, the weather's boring. Let's talk about another thing. So anyway, Phil, for those that don't know who you are and what you're all about, can you just give us your elevator pitch of who you are and who you are and where you're from and all the rest of it? Mike over.
Yeah, sure. So I live in Edinburgh. My name's Phil, and I live in Edinburgh. I've always grew up in Scotland, actually. My family are from the Western Isles of Scotland, which is way up north to the west, the beautiful Outer Hebrides. And if you haven't ever been, please, after lockdown, go, because it's the most beautiful place in the whole of Scotland. Literally, the beaches are like the Caribbean. Unfortunately, it's
Amazing.
not as warm, but the beaches are stunning. And my first language is Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic. So I'm a fluent Gaelic speaker. There aren't many of us in the world that are. I think there's something around 70,000 Gaelic speakers in total in Scotland that are fluent. So my kind of family background is kind of, been in Gaelic arts, in Gaelic culture, and really embedded in everything that our family have been about through music and dance and drama and theatre and performing arts. So there's not one person in my family that doesn't sing or act or dance or play an instrument. So we're
That's
very much
amazing.
enriched in that Scottish culture, which has been a really good kind of stepping stone for me, who wanted to get into the media. And very kind of early on, when I was like 14, 15 years old, got a kind of a taste of what it's like to be on camera, and was hired as a presenter for BBC Scotland at the time, and then kind of went on to present children's programs and then music programs, and then moved to STV to do more. Well, STV as an ITV up here in Scotland, to do more children's programs. And then went to Channel 5 in London to present entertainment news, and then kind of done a little bits and bobs across the way for different networks, including CNN, NBC in America, Good Morning America, and then kind of through the medium of television, fell in love with what that world was, but ultimately didn't really enjoy a lot of the television side of it, to the extent of constantly having to put yourself at the forefront of the camera, and decided that, by going to lots of events and lots of parties and being in the right places with the right people, that world was still something I wanted to be in, and made the transition from being in television to the world of public relations and PR. So I now have my own PR agency. We look after global clients in the lifestyle sector, from hotels, restaurants, bars, fashion lines. We work with amazing clients I can tell you about later on, and still kind of keep my toe in the water with television. So still actively do some television programs here in Scotland, and anything that kind of comes in that I feel is right for my project. But like everything, we've been I think lots of us have been questioning over the last kind of couple of months, what direction that we want to be doing in terms of our careers. And certainly kind of, for me, I was always kind of full throttle, like in the world of media and television and PR, it's so rapid. It's like you don't stop, you're working horrible hours. And for once, I think I've had a chance to go, okay, breathe,
Yeah.
breathe.
Tell me about it.
And what do I want to do next? Do I want to continue that role? Do I want to continue that pursuit, or do I want to kind of do other things, or do I want to just basically take the pace a lot slower? Because what the pace that we're all running at isn't healthy for anyone, and it certainly it wasn't healthy for me, and even those around me, including peers and clients and those that I work closest to, are on the same page. It's like, why were we going at such a pace that we didn't have to, and now we're all just like,
yeah. So when it comes to that slowing down, right? I think that everyone is in that same boat, as you said. How have you coped with the sort of disparity between, like, right, I'm going 100 miles an hour to break, stop? Like, what was it like at the very beginning of lockdown? Were you nervous? Were you excited? Were you sort of embracing it? Was it a real shock to the system? How were you feeling about it all?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously in Scotland. We're slightly different to what's happening across well, in England. I think all the regions are very different. But I was actually in London at the beginning of March, working with a client when this was all kind of coming to a head. And for me and my role as a creative director of a company, it was all about learning. So what is happening here? What are the consequences? where are we going to be, what is actually happening. So it was kind of like picking up the phone again, still running miles an hour, a million miles an hour, trying to kind of understand from various sectors and various industries and various experts that I had contact with, what is this all about? Where are we going to go? You know, a lot of the clients that we work with are restaurants and hotels. Are they having to close down? What is good? You know what? No one knew. So there's hundreds of questions. So there was like, it was almost kind of like an excitement at the beginning to go, what is this? You know, what are we doing? Because still nobody was kind of giving us guidelines. Nobody was really understanding the next phase, the next step. And I remember vividly that kind of March the 20th, which was actually my birthday. I came back to Edinburgh. I met a couple of friends for drinks in a bar. And one of my friends worked for the Scottish government, and she had said to me, this is like serious. We are all going to be in homes locked down for quite a while. And I was kind of like, no way, like it's not going to go that way, surely.
Not going to happen, no.
Not going to happen. And then all of a sudden on the Monday, reality kind of hit. And over that first week, you know, as you start to kind of and update your clients and kind of get a bit more understanding of the situation, slowly we just had one client after the other say, look, we have to put our contracts on pause. We're going to close the restaurants. We're going to close the hotels. Our fashion brands aren't going to be producing anything currently. So it became an exciting part to kind of understand, oh, what's the excitement going on, to all of a sudden going, oh my God, what is happening to this industry? 70% of my clients have just gone almost within a week. What is going on here? And that is when the realization kicked in. And actually, that is where it started to get a little bit depressing and really kind of like a little bit of anger as well, Jack, you know, because a lot of us didn't know anything. So kind of anger at you know, for somebody who's so controlled of their life and their situation, to have so much anger for a government or even other people around me, because I was like, why do we not know this? It was just anger. And I didn't enjoy that phase at all. Actually, I think it was kind of like week 2 that I stumbled upon yourself, and I had never really kind of known much about coaching, life coaching. It's something that I always felt that, you know, I just didn't know enough about, so therefore I wouldn't kind of, you know, need it. And I've always been quite a positive person, thought, well, I'll just have a conversation with myself. And I think I said to you at that time, I'm finding this really tough. Like, I don't know who to turn to, because my friends are all going through this similar situation, and they've got their own companies and their own businesses and affairs to deal with. And you don't want to burden them. So it was like, what do I do? You know, it was kind of really scary, because I've never been like that in life, ever. I've always had such a positive kind of like outlook to life, and for the first time ever, I think I was like, you know, on this spiral that wasn't going anywhere and wasn't understanding my mind, my headset, it was just all a blur.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can totally resonate with that, and I think that a lot of people watching and then maybe watching this back later will resonate with the fact that everything was basically thrown up in the air. You know, our lives, our work, our families, our relationships, our values, everything that we were doing was just like gone. And it got to a point where, as you said, we didn't really know what was happening, so we couldn't deal with it. We didn't know there was no end date. And that's what I find quite fascinating about this, is that there were some people who were in the camp of, oh, it'll be all right, it'll blow over in a week or two. And then there's others, your friend, who said, oh no, we're in this for the long haul. But then between those two groups, there's also a lot of people who are like, well, if we're in this for the long haul, that's a panic. Whereas others were like, maybe that's actually could be quite a good thing. It's a good to take, as you said, take time from work, maybe spend some time with your other half or family or whoever you were isolating with. And on the other side, if people thought, oh, well, it's going to be a good break, maybe this is a good time for me to start doing the garden or painting the house or whatever it might be. So I think it all comes down to, in my opinion, how you take a really negative situation that isn't in your control and flip it on its head to a positive situation that you are in control of. Okay. And what I wanted to ask you was, based on what you now know, right, from when you started lockdown and you went for that drink with your friend who works for the Scottish government, based on like what you've learned through to this point today, what are you going to take forward into your next chapter of your life?
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest things that that I will take from this is that it's the pace that I need to just slow down with. You know, kind of you were talking about, you know, putting your kind of actions into place and kind of, you know, trying to do other things. So I live myself here in Edinburgh, and the first few weeks I kind of put a lot of emphasis on that. You know, I'm myself. It was all about kind of like me. I'm myself. So I need attention. Where are people? And putting too much pressure on your friends also kind of, you know, was something that I was doing, that I kind of thought, I can't be doing that, because ultimately we are all in similar boats here.
Yeah.
So it was very much kind of a case of me having to flip that away. My family don't live near me, so ultimately I couldn't get to see them. And, you know, you are watching stories on Instagram and social media, which is a great outlet, but also at the
Yeah.
same time it can put your mind in a bad place, because you're watching people, watching friends, you know, they're in the homes together, they're cooking together, they are doing the garden, they're coming up with activities, and you're kind of there going, I don't have anyone with me just now. This is really quite a struggle. I don't have anyone. Yes, I could call somebody, but that is also eating into their time with their loved ones or their partners or their spouses. And I think that what I've learned is, you know, rather than kind of being dependent on others for maybe my emotions or my kind of my own needs, is to really just kind of try to be at one with myself, and then think about it a lot more without having to be erratic and just, you know, pick up the call or you know, I think I've always kind of been a person that would do things sometimes without thinking too much about it, whereas now I'm like, okay, really think about that, and is there a need to do that just now, or can you wait, or is there something that else that might be, you know, more suitable? So certainly kind of the pace of which that life life has been going is something that I really want to change with this. And also just to kind of, you know, be a little bit more kind of kinder with people, and putting time into relationships, whether it be with loved ones or with friends, or indeed, you know, kind of with somebody that you potentially loved or potentially have had relationships with in the past, or and trying to kind of amend them, because we've all seen how short time can be and how much time we have had to kind of make that amends. So so that's been a big value for me.
That's amazing. Like, thank you for sharing that. First of all, that's super nice. And it's hard, as you said, being on your own is unfortunately just, you know, on the way that it's nice actually in a way. It's kind of an oxymoron. You know, you get to that stage in your life where you want to live on your own because you kind of like done sharing people and you want your own space and stuff. But then when there's something like this happens, you're like, oh no, I want more people around me. You want that social connection. So I think, you know, exactly. you seem happy and healthy considering. So I thank you for sharing that with myself and everyone watching.
Exactly.
In respect to what you said about, you know, the people that you want to reach out to and the things that, you know, you wish you could do but you can't, what would you say you're most grateful for, looking back on what you had and that now you have obviously been restricted in being able to do?
I'm super grateful for my family. Actually, I have two sisters and my mom. We're all very close. We always have been. We're not, you know, we're not in the same city, unfortunately, but certainly there has been a lot of more communications with our family. I think as well, my mum, because she's from the Highlands of Scotland, you know, they're not used to kind of having lots of communications. They're very much kind of like, you know, inner people. They don't express their feelings. But what I've noticed is that even with her, she's expressing a lot more of her feelings with us, which has been really kind of lovely to see. And my sisters both have children. They're, you know, nephews and nieces. Actually, my sister had her third child during lockdown, so I've still not met her yet. So baby Argyle, I've still to meet. But things like that, I think that I've been much more in communications with them, understanding kind of more about their family life that I've never really had the time or, you know, or thoughts to do. Whereas now I think one of the first things I do is check in with them in the mornings, one of the things that I constantly do is check in with them in the afternoon, you know, just solidly. So I think that's been vital. And also, you know, there are some friends of mine that have been phenomenal through this in terms of, you know, gone above and beyond anything that I could have expected, and that for me is really special. So I think now we certainly carve out those people and individuals that have been close to us. And from a business point of view, the same thing. You know, I've been doing jobs and tasks that are not paid for, but ultimately the relationship is because it's been there. And I know it's going to continue to be there because of the work that we're doing at the moment. When people are in crisis, it's time for us to kind of do that little bit that we can. And I think the smallest thing that we do now will go a long way for us in the future. And I think that's really important that we all understand that right now, because every single person that I know needs that just a little bit of help. And we shouldn't be afraid to kind of say thank you for it, or indeed to ask just for that little bit of guidance.
I totally agree. I talk a lot about something that I like to call compound interest, but in a respect of your emotions and your feelings, and kind of like here and here. You know, it's everything that is something. It's, you know, it's a compound interest of what you do today, right, will have an impact on tomorrow, and then what that had the impact on tomorrow will have an impact on the next day and the next week and the next month. So let's take an example of you reaching out to somebody, like you said, you know, doing the little things for somebody that may mean not that much today, but it might have been the one thing they needed that day to stop them from feeling really bad for the next few weeks or whatever it might be. But that is a simple task can have such a compound effect as well as interest on someone's well-being by just reaching out and helping them. And the same for you as well. Like, even if you were feeling a bit down one day on your own and you reached out to a friend, and even if you just had a 5-minute chat, that is going to make you feel a lot better about your day than if you didn't have it at all. So that's, you know, that's on the side of sort of feeling like you need to, you know, reach out and connect with people. But then if you've got other people that might be watching that are quite ambitious or that want to sort of use this time for as much as possible, that's the other thing as well. It's so easy just to say, sit back and wait for this to kick off, right? Or wait for this to sort of like slow down. But actually, what I love, and this is something that a guy I interviewed a couple of weeks ago called Chris Williamson, he said, what do you imagine you in like 50 years time, you're telling your grandkids about what happened during the pandemic of 2020. What are you going to say you did in that pandemic, right? Are you going to say that you sat around in your boxes and watched Netflix and, you know, ate pizza? Or are you going to say, I learned a language, which then led to this and this? Or I reorganized my house and it made it that the value went up by X amount? Or I connected with this person, and they became my good friends for life. You know, what can you do today that's going to have an impact, even if it's a small impact, but just an impact on your life moving forward from this point? Because right now we are never, and like here and now, we are never ever going to have this time like we have ever again, because next time they're going to be more prepared, right? So it will probably happen at some stage if there's a spike or whatever, but it won't be nearly as bad. So why not use this time for self-development, for reaching out, for helping people with what they're doing in their life, and also helping yourself? So I think that, you know, there's so much information out there on the internet, particularly, you know, and you just have to Google, you know, learning this or learning that. There's free stuff everywhere, you know, and it's brilliant. And I think
that we also can't put too much pressure on ourselves to learn something, you know, because I think the moment we start to do that and see other people, especially now with social media, you know, we're constantly on it, and now more than ever, because we're in our homes, we are a little bit bored, and there is sometimes a pressure to say, okay, I see them learning language and I see them doing something. Maybe that puts too much pressure on you as well. But ultimately, I guess it just comes down to the individual, doesn't it? To say, well, I don't want to waste my time, but also I don't want to kind of, you know, be anxious about trying to do something that potentially will drive me insane or drive me around the bend if I don't get to achieve it.
Exactly. Look, I mean, my mantra in life is do what makes you happy. And there's a few things that I can't do now because of lockdown and because of isolation and all the rest of it. And they would normally have made me happy. But what I've then done is then focused more of my attention, as in I've got 100% of my energy in a little ball right here, that I can focus 10% there and 20% there and 30% there. But actually now, because I haven't got those things, I can focus 50% on this, which I can do, which for me is my coaching, reaching out to people, talking to people like you that have got a similar mindset, helping people through this this tough time. Reading, I love to read. That's something that I have never got time for, ever got time to read. I've either got something on or there's something better to be doing. But reading is like my thing that I've really embraced, because I think, well, if I don't do it now, when am I going to read these stupid books, right? They're literally just gathering dust on my shelf. So things like that you can look at and go, where can I just improve myself, even just a little bit, and you never know what might come of it later on down the line. That's the beauty of it. That's the future that we're all waiting for. Let's make...
Have you this is me kind of going into my presenter mode, but ultimately, have you had many people who perhaps perception of mind coaching have come to you now that has changed, their mindset has changed because of this pandemic, and because perhaps they felt they did have people to reach out to, but perhaps they don't? Have you had many people kind of approach you on that basis over the last few months?
I have, yes. I have lots of people reach out to me all the time asking me about challenges that they're facing because of like direct effects because of the lockdown. And the great thing about it is that the one thing I ask them is, what is it about this particular challenge that you're finding so difficult? Why is it such a problem? And it usually comes back to the fact that it's a new thing, right? And it's something that they're going to have to either do outside their
the unknown type thing.
Exactly, yeah, and it feels either a bit overwhelming, or they haven't got the confidence to maybe start it, or they're not really sure how to start. Like, they haven't figured out like the structure of, I used to go to, here and here during the day, and I had that person to speak to and whatever. Now I'm on my own in my home. How do I deal with doing that same thing in this environment, right? Yeah. So what I say to them is, embrace it and look at it as a challenge that you can learn from. I love the expression FAIL, right? FAIL is an acronym, stands for first attempt in learning. Okay. Now, if somebody tries something and it doesn't work, okay, some people may go, oh, it's not for me, right? That is what I like to call a fixed mindset of a situation. It means that you think that what you were capable of right then and there is all you're going to be capable of, right? Which is a very narrow-minded way of looking at any situation. Whereas you could also go, I'm going to fail, but what did I learn about that? What did I learn about trying to change my career? What did I learn about reading a book? What did I learn about being on my own for 10 weeks in a house? What did I learn about having to do online shopping? There's this is endless. And what you learn about yourself, you can then use in later on in life, and you can use new challenges that come by. And I personally think the world is going to be a much stronger place because of this whole massive storm that we've been bombarded with over the last 3 months. We're going to come out of this
people have been so creative, haven't they, kind of like during this kind of time. You see it just like how companies have been very much diverse with their approach. They've had to change things very, very quickly, but so have the individuals. And I think that's what's kind of exciting. There's lots of talk just now about people, unemployment's going to be at an all-time high, etc. But I think generally that will only last a couple of months, because the amount of creativity and new companies and new business that have been set up because people have had the time to do something they've always wanted to do will now be there. And it will take maybe 4 or 5, 6 months before they get up and running, but certainly they'll be up and running at some point. And I think that's what makes it the exciting part.
Yeah, I saw a really interesting advert actually earlier today. I was saying if you saw, I ran a half marathon today for charity, and on my thank you.
Well done.
If anyone wants to donate, I've already said so, but there's a video of a friend of mine who's basically got acute leukemia, and he's been diagnosed just 6 weeks after he gave birth to his baby boy, and unfortunately he's in a bit of a bad way, but I'm trying to raise some money for him. So there's a video on my Instagram. If you want to watch it, you can do so. But there was this advert.
If you want me to send me the link, and I'll do that for you too.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, I was saying I need 10,000 followers before that happens. I can't do it.
Oh, you won't be long till you get that.
It won't be long, hopefully. Yeah, exactly.
A week or so,
yeah, we nudge everyone watching. No joke. So it was this advert that basically said, why are we bailing out the big companies that have clearly been destroying either the country, the world, or the society that we live in, and we're not supporting the ones that are now doing things that are actually helping us go forward. Yeah. So Like,
The
and it
entrepreneurial
makes
spirit. Yeah, I
so
agree with
much
that.
sense, because there are some companies out there that are asking for bailouts from the government, and it's not that we shouldn't be doing that, but we should be looking at why we're bailing them out, right? Are they actually going to give value to the world, or are they just a multi-million-pound company that just needs a bit of help? Whereas there are other companies that are actually doing some really good stuff, like the food banks, for example, who are
Yeah.
helping the homeless and the people that can't shop or haven't got anywhere to go or whatever. Help those sorts of companies build back up, right? Or the companies that are helping with building PPE stuff. I'm sure
Yeah.
that there's companies that have started in lockdown that have got zero investment, zero help, zero, and they're doing their best to help the world, the country, everything get back on its feet. So why are we not giving all these government grants to those people to help them build? That's what I think is going to be a great
But
end to the story.
there might have to be a shift in the government's structure in terms of the
Yeah.
ministerial jobs and everything else because of that. Because I think just now the government have been amazing. I think it's hard to kind of suggest that they haven't been in terms of the funding that they're given to individuals, to businesses. They've been really, really supportive. But I think
Yeah.
they will have to kind of have a think about now in the future about how they distribute money to entrepreneurials and startups and
Yeah.
those self-employed, because actually those are the people that are trying to change the way, the mindset of business, and that's
Exactly.
the way that we want to kind of approach it from now on in. And it's funny you should say that about we our friendship group have been doing like most people doing weekly quizzes, and we
Yeah.
were kind of getting to the stage where we were like, oh, it's getting kind of like a bit not repetitive, because it was fun, but certainly we thought, right, let's do one big massive one for charity. We chose the Trussell Trust, who I didn't really know much about at all, in fact, until we read into it and how much they do for UK food banks. Of course, I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of the lack of funding that they don't get, but the amount of work that they do get. They do inside every single pocket of community there is in the UK. So, like, luckily we raised £1,100 just with the friendship group, which is just phenomenal. But it just kind of goes to show that people are kind-hearted and do want to give back something just now, regardless of their own situation, which I find is just phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's all about just being kind, being helpful, and being open about the fact that the world is a very different place and will be for a very long time after this. And it's whatever we can do to help what is needed right now. And it comes back to I always say this: what's important right now? What's important right now is helping the world get back on its feet. Right. Once the world's back on its feet, then what will be important is what it will be important right then. But right now, this is important, so let's focus on this. There's no point planning your holiday for 2022 because it might not even happen. Do you know what I mean? It's one
I
of
know
those
that's the thing. Like I don't know about you, but I've definitely not booked a thing. I'm like, no idea what's going on. Let
If
me ask you as
anything,
well,
yeah.
what are you missing most in this time through lockdown? What have you missed the most?
Honestly, the swimming pool. I'm a massive. I swim all day long most of the time, so I'm missing. I literally live, no joke. My window looks on the back of the swimming pool. It's why I moved here.
So
So no,
it's constantly teasing you. Come for a
yeah,
swim.
literally, I'm like that. I'm like waiting. If as soon as I see someone in the window, I'm like, "Oh, you're open. I'm coming." No, I've missed the swimming pool. Obviously, that's for me. Like, personally, I use swimming as like my meditation. For me, it's my way of just switching off, and I can just go. It's like kind of like runner's high, kind of similar sort of thing. But in terms of what I miss most, I think, is the ability to just be free, and be able to just do the things.
I'm with you 100% on that one.
Yeah, like not necessarily like I don't miss necessarily going anywhere specific or seeing anyone specific. Of course, I miss people and miss places, but as a whole, I think I just miss being a free person that can just go, hey, today I want to go and do this, and I can go and do it. And it makes me realize, it makes me appreciate the places in the world that are not like that. Even before COVID-19 Corona kicked in, there were people around the world that were in a position where they couldn't just do what they wanted because of whatever reason. And it does bring everything back into perspective and makes you realize that actually we're not in control of this country, of this world, of this earth. We are under the scrutiny of we all have to come together to make it a better place. And, hopefully we all come together to get rid of this virus and move forward in the right direction. Yeah, I think being in lockdown has definitely taught me a lot of things, and those things are things that I will take forward into the next stage of my life and also the world.
Yeah, I think as well you use the word, hoping there. The one thing that I hope that I don't lose is that word hope. I think this, throughout this entire process, we've all kind of held on to that word, and it's such a small word with such a huge meaning, but
Definitely.
it's something that I hope that doesn't start to dwindle away from my life, because the longer this does go on, the more you kind of become a bit more like, But actually, if as long as I can keep that within me, then I think I'm going to be good. Well,
absolutely. It's going to be only time will tell, as they say, it's going to be an interesting time, but it's going to be an exciting time as well. I think it's going to be something to come, so it'll be good. So Phil, before we wrap this up, I wanted to do my infamous, whatever you want to call it, quick fire question round with you. Are you up for it? Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
Perfect. So it's basically just a bunch of questions that are kind of about lockdown, but kind of just to give people a bit of an understanding of what you're all about from a deeper level. So kick things off with you. What is the best Netflix series you've been watching while you've been in lockdown?
I love The Politician.
Oh, okay. Is that on Netflix?
It's Netflix. It's a comedy. It's brilliant. It's very, very good. It's got Ben. Is it Ben's? What's Ben's still? Is it Platt? Ben Platt.
Oh yeah.
The actor. So he's in it. It's very good.
Nice.
I think season 2 is coming out end of June. So fingers crossed. But it's very
perfect.
Good.
I'll have to look at that up. Thank you. Good recommendation. What are you reading at the moment, or if not, what is the best book you've read recently?
So I'm actually not a massive, huge reader. I read so much online in terms of news, but I think that's just because I'm so used to it in my job. Reading books is never really something I've been massively into, but reading content of news stories and things have always been my kind of go-to in life. So so I can't really answer that one.
No problem. That's all right. There's going to be a few in there that you might not be able to. What's your favourite takeaway? And if you say battered Mars bar, I will laugh.
And I don't even know if we can get that on Deliveroo yet. But no, my favourite takeaway is definitely Thai food. Love Thai food. And we have a really cool place here in Edinburgh called Ting Thai Caravan, which is really good. But actually, over this period, I've only had 1 or 2 takeaways because I've been loving cooking. I've been loving it. So I've literally been kind of spending a lot more time on finding the ingredients and the recipes and everything else. So I'm trying to cook a lot more at home, which is actually as well filled my time.
Good. Yeah, exactly. Filling time is something that you definitely have to keep up these days.
Yeah, exactly. But time, definitely time.
Question you asked me earlier, and I'll throw it back at you. Where are you missing visiting the most?
I'm missing visiting my family. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the family and the fact that it's I can't really escape where you are right now. I think we all love a little bit of escape in our lives, whether it be a holiday, an excursion, whatever. And I'm kind of missing that. So hopefully, I mean, we'll get a little bit more leeway here in the UK. Well, in Scotland, I think we're a bit behind you guys. We'll get a bit more leeway, and we can start to maybe go further north or south, wherever else. But certainly, I'm missing just the fact that I can't escape.
Nice, yeah. Hopefully you'll get to see them soon. That'd be good. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Confident, convivial, connected.
What was the second one? Convivial?
Convivial.
What does that mean? I've not heard that word before.
Meaning kind of like you're convivial. You're like, network. You're networked. You're kind of like...
Oh, like just easy to get on with, social, kind of... I like that word. That's cool.
Kind of like, things, just kind of like knowing people, knowing places, that kind of thing. Kind of like knowledge of, convivial.
There you go. Learn a new word every day. I like that. I'll definitely put them down. Thank you. What is the first thing you do in the morning when you get up?
Brush my teeth.
Nice, good, fantastic. What is the best?
Check the news. I always check the news in the morning. I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, there we go. Wakes you up. Yeah, I like it. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
piece of advice I've ever been given. Always be kind to the people on the way up, because you don't know where you're going to meet them on the way down.
Like it. I like that. It's really good. Really, really good. What would you say to your 21-year-old self?
Oh God, I was a bit wild when I was 21. I still am. But what would I say to my 21 self? Probably actually to appreciate the things around me more, because I think there are things that there are experiences and people that I met when I was 21 that, you know, I probably didn't appreciate. So appreciate kind of everything that you learn and every day you meet, because they're really important to kind of how your mind will be in the future.
Perfect. Great answer. Like that. Like that. What is your greatest strength?
My greatest strength, I would say, is to kind of make people feel good. I hope, you know, it's I'm always the friend that people will call if they're not feeling great about themselves, which is where I struggled so massively with this, because I've never been used to kind of going, it's me this time. It's me that feels really bad. But ultimately, I hope that I'm always the one that can make them smile, make them chuckle, make them laugh, and give them something to be happy around.
Brilliant. Well, mate, my cheeks are sore from smiling through this whole interview, so you definitely rubbed off on me, that's for sure. Where are you missing visiting in terms of flying somewhere? Where would you go first place you could go if you could fly tomorrow? Where would you go?
I'd probably go to Barcelona. It's just a wonderful city. It's got everything in one: good food, good drinks, good atmosphere. It's got the beach, it's got the good lifestyle, and the people are amazing. I like that Catalonian kind of, you know, style of personality. They're very much kind of like the Scots. Yeah, I would definitely just jump on a plane there. But for me, I was so used to traveling like every 2-3 weeks with hotel clients. We were all over the world, you know. So it's been quite an experience to kind of have just this so much time at home. I mean, my flat is looking phenomenal, like it's brilliant. but yeah, I am missing.
You need someone to show it to.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
yeah,
I'm just going to create a new TV show about, you know, at home with Bill.
Yeah, it'd be like the new MTV Cribs 3.0. I like it. It's good.
Yeah, certainly that's very cool.
Nice one. Last question. Give us a fun fact about you that maybe someone or nobody knows.
A fun fact. I gate crashed Pharrell Williams' 40th birthday party in New York.
Ah, yes, I love that. That is so good. I almost want to do another live just to tell me how you did that.
Well, yeah, we need to go to another day, but very quickly, it was a SpongeBob themed party.
Brilliant.
And it was superb. Yeah, but managed to get right into his pit as well. So it was amazing. So yeah.
I love that. Man, that's super, super cool. Look, Phil, thank you so much for joining me and everyone today. We really appreciate your time. Honestly, I know it's I know you're a busy man and you're very active on social media, and I really appreciate you coming on and chatting to me and to everyone watching. But if anyone would like to see you or to talk to you or ask you anything more, find out how you got into Pharrell's birthday party, where can they find you?
Yeah, on Instagram, yes, at I am Phil MacHugh, MEC, because obviously we're Scottish, so everyone's a Mac up here. So yeah, on Instagram, same on Twitter and Facebook. But also, Jack, can I just say, you're doing a great job, and your tone and presentation styles are very good. So keep up the good work, and we're enjoying watching you as well. So
thank you. Well, coming from an expert like yourself, that means a lot. So thank you very much, and I appreciate everyone that has tuned in. For the people that have come and gone, I honestly, it means more to me than anything that people tune in and listen to these lives, because I think it's just helping people kind of get a different perspective on things, and as we've been speaking positively about the whole thing, it just helps people maybe see things from a different point of view. So yeah, mission accomplished if that's the way it's coming across. So
I know it's not easy to get, you know, people on every day. So well done, because it's,
thank you. Yeah,
you know, forget how tough it is to put diaries and content together. So well done.
Exactly. No, it's getting to that stage now where I'm having to maybe, like, my mum's creeping a bit further up the list now. And we're like, I'm sort of like, oh, I'll put her a bit further down just in case I got really desperate. But yeah, Mum, if you're watching, you
Well,
might be
she could
next,
be
so
good. She
prepare.
could give insights into young Jack. I mean, that could be dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, someone just asked Jamie McKinnon, who's the most famous person you've interviewed? Well, it might actually be Mr. Phil here. There we go. Right here, you've just seen my most famous interview going. So there we go. But look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you, and thank you so much. And look, keep safe, keep well, be happy, and we will surely see you again. But hopefully next time it will be in person, and we can actually have a good old natter.
You too. Take care of yourself, and thank you very much for this. It's been fun.
Thank you. Perfect. Take care, man. See you soon.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, that was a wee chat and a half. I love that. It's great. Phil's amazing, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to find out more about Phil, obviously his Instagram was I am Phil MacHugh, and it will also be. I'll put a link on my IGTV after this as well. But thanks everyone for coming. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys. Actually, I'm doing another one later because of the reschedule of this one. We're actually doing another one at 7 o'clock tonight. So peace out. Hope to see you there. Boom.